This is Season 3 of The Score, the Team Roping Journal's regular podcast, where the team roping world talks. We've told the stories of some of the greatest cowboys, horses, and moments in the sport, and we're so far from done. In 2020, we'll bring you more of what you've come to expect, like interviews with the best cowboys and cowgirls we know, and we'll dive even deeper into subjects you care about. Look for more audio editions of the Team Roping Journal stories you might have missed in print, and learn about the great horses shaping the sport and great challenges facing our industry. All this and more in 2020. I'm Chelsea Schaefer.
2019 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo header Brenten Hall from Jay, Oklahoma, took the world by storm after ending the season fourth in the PRCA world standings with $237,000 in PRCA earnings. What sets him apart from the rest is how he works at not overthinking his roping. In today's audio roping tips, Hall talks about how he works at making roping as simple as possible.
Hey everyone, this is Brenten Hall. Chelsea contacted me earlier on this week and asked me if I would talk to you guys about some roping tips. Here's kind of my take on it. Honestly, here lately I haven't been getting a rope that much. I've had a few little minor setbacks in my life at the moment. I've had a little bit of barn fire and it burned up part of my tack room and had to start rebuilding that. So it has set me back a little bit and I haven't been getting a rope as much as I would like to. But then again, it has been a really good time for a break for my horses and for me and myself to just recuperate a little bit and kind of hopefully rejuvenate myself towards it a little bit more. I think sometimes we get to going through the motions too much and don't really focus on one thing or even have the drive that we might need to be out there doing stuff. We're just out there because we know or we think it's what we're supposed to be doing instead of doing it for a reason. So today I got a few little points I want to talk about. I don't have anything major. For me, the easiest I've ever been able to make roping is just trying to break it down as simple as possible. So for me, to make it simple, right off the bat, scoring good and your horse scoring good will make every part of the run 10 times better. To me, team roping is a very big chain reaction sport. So if your horse scores good, well, the next step's going to come easier. Like riding across the line is going to be easier. Finding where the steer is heading and beating him to that and getting to the spot you need to be ahead of the steer the whole time is easier if your horse is wanting to score good. If he wants to leave flat and score good, you can reach easier. You can go just chase the steer. Everything about that run is easier if your horse scores good. If your horse doesn't score good, you either break the barrier or you're late. Well, if you break the barrier, you've already cost yourself. You're not going to be able to win anything. And if you're late, then you panic and try to make stuff happen. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen the way you want it to. So what I would like to talk about that is just scoring. Like in general, I don't think enough people probably score their horse as much as they should. And just being in the box with them. It's not just riding in the box, turning around, scoring your horse, nodding as soon as you turn around, scoring him, letting the next steer walk in there, never riding him forward and just nodding and going. To me, to get a horse calm in the box, you need to move them around some. You need to have them comfortable with being in the box and that be their safe place. Until a horse thinks that is their comfort zone and that is where they need to be and be happy, I don't think you will ever be able to progress with scoring your horse completely. Now, that was one of the things. The other thing that I've noticed while being off, working on my place and trying to get my house ready and my barn ready for the new place I'm moving into, and I haven't got to rope as much as I'd like, just like I said, and I think that has made me realize a lot for like the folks that do have day jobs and are weekenders, want to go rope at the World Series or want to go rope at the All-Star Team ropings on the weekends. I think that, to me, I've realized that you don't get to run as many steers as you would like to, and not getting to rope as many steers as you would like to really puts you in a tight spot because you don't get to work on stuff as much as you would like. So what I've gotten from that is when you get to the practice pen, you need to be working on something every run to get the best out of your run. practicing with a purpose. And I think a lot of times we just get out there and start going through the motions and are just roping to rope. And we're not getting any better by not challenging ourselves or trying to progress as individuals or as a team, So to me, practicing with a purpose would be a really big thing that I would think is a great tip for right now. Because for me, I have noticed it more than usual when everything's going on and we're not in this COVID-19 crisis like we are, and we're going to rodeos and jackpots. That's my only way of making a living. So, and a lot of us is the only way that we're trying to make a living, and a lot of people's dreams are to make a living that way. So we don't really recognize it or notice it as much when we just go practice every day all day long and then we go home. But I think practicing with a purpose and making those steers count. If you only get to run 10 steers a day, try to do something on every one of those steers, all 10 of those steers. Don't waste any one of those steers in the practice pen. Try to get the best out of yourself. Try to get the best out of your horse. And so on and so forth. Because going to the practice pen and just roping and not actually working on something every run is not bettering you, and it's not bettering your horse, and your partner's maybe not getting the best licks because you're not even working on something to make it easier or to make it better or to progress or to become better. So I would like to talk about that. That's what I'm trying to talk about here, is working on when you get to go do something, when you get to run those steers. Make them count. And a lot of the times I like to set it up when I'm practicing, like, okay, this time, let's go to Reno. Okay, well, Reno is 2 and a short. I'm going to run 3 steers just like I run at Reno. I'm going to see full shoulder on the end of the gate, and I'm going to try to be 5 flat on every steer, but good controlled 5 flats where I can do it every time. And I think that's what a lot of people need to work on in the practice pen, is that too. Don't just rope steers. Don't leave with every steer. See a start like you might be going to that next place. The next place you're going to, start preparing for that during the week, 4 or 5 days before you know where you're going somewhere. Start preparing yourself. You know kind of what it's going to be. If it's a jackpot, it's probably going to be a longer score. If it's a higher leveled roping, or if it's a lower leveled roping, it's probably going to be a World Series barrier or a quick start, whatever you want to call it. But prepare yourself for that. Start seeing that start and getting a good feel for it, and making those runs count in the practice pen, so that when you do show up and are ready to rope, you're ahead of everybody else and you're ready to win. That's kind of my take on things, guys. I don't really, that's where I talk about the simpleness of it. I don't really break team roping it down a lot. I try to keep it really simple, and I won't have a bunch of tips to tell you guys that are just like certain little drills that I do or stuff like that. I try to just keep it really simple. Simple for me, simple for my horse, and simple for my partners. And that, to me, makes everybody's life easier, and it's easier to read that. Like that's black and white. Like, that's clear, Your partner sees what you're doing, your horse can understand what you're trying to get him to do, and you can really, really get something out of that. So, I don't know if that helped anybody. I hope it helped somebody. But if it did, I sure appreciate it. I'm glad I got to talk to you guys today. God bless and take care.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's audio roping tip with Brenten Hall. We hope you guys are getting a lot out of these. Please, if you have the time, take the time, leave us a rating and review, and please share and let us know who you want to hear audio tips from on the score. We're loving these, we're hoping you're loving these, and we hope everyone's staying safe.